My God, I hate drugs.
President Duterte taking a swipe at Vice President Leni after a speech in Pampanga. The Vice President says she's ready to lead opposition groups, and this is what Mr. Duterte had to say in his own words.
I will not resign because it will make her president. My resignation is addressed to the people na para makapili sila ng gusto nila. Siya, I don't think she can ever be ready to govern a country. Reason, incompetence.
Robredo says she is now willing to speak up more about issues hounding the government. AC Nichols has the details.
Less than a year before the 2019 midterm elections, Vice President Leni Robredo declares she's ready to lead the political opposition. Robredo is the highest-ranking member of the Liberal Party in government. Her disagreement with certain policies of President Duterte's administration has led to her ouster from the cabinet in November 2016. But this time, she's willing to take her dissent to the next level. She wants to unite opposition groups for a louder and clearer voice. Aside from the Liberal Party, Robredo said several other groups that are unhappy with current government policies and actions have approached her.
Marami mga grupo na pareho naman yung mga issues na gustong salungatin. Pero dahil hindi nag-usap-usap, hindi napapag-isa yung boses. At yun yung role na gusto kong i-take. Na yung siguraduhin na yung mga boses na nagkakaisa ay lalong mapag-isa para lalong mapakinggan. Siguraduhin na yung mensaheng gustong ipaabot mas maintindihan.
Robredo says they are still in the early stages of planning, but among their goals is to form a united opposition slate in the coming midterm elections. She hopes this will be ready by September, in time for the filing of certificates of candidacy in October. They are considering Maria Lourdes Sereno for the senatorial lineup, but the ousted Chief Justice has not yet decided to join politics.
Sinabi ko sa kanya na may mga nagno-nominate ng kanyang pangalan para sa United Opposition Slate. Pero wala pang desisyon. Marami siyang tanong, yung iba nasagot ko na, yung iba hindi ko pa nasasagot. Pero I think kailangan niya ng panahon para pag-isipan.
Robredo, meantime, questioned President Duterte's plans to step down from Malacanang once the draft constitution for a federal form of government is approved. She said being in public office is an obligation that one cannot simply walk away from. In the first place, the Vice President doesn't believe there is need for charter change, pointing out that there are other more important issues than politics. AC Nichols, CNN Philippines.
President Duterte has said he wants the public to elect a new leader that would head the transition government, which will be set up once the federal constitution is ratified. And now members of the consultative committee drafting the charter change agree to this request. Our Joyce Ilos has more.
The Consultative Committee to review the 1987 Constitution has agreed to President Duterte's requests to include a provision in their proposed federal constitution that would allow for the election of a transition president. This, in effect, would allow President Duterte to step down from his post once the new constitution is approved in a plebiscite. Recall that President Duterte earlier said that he is tired and it would be better for a younger leader to lead the country's transition to a federal form of government.
We shall be electing, as per his suggestion, a transition president. Kung powers lang niya yung to effectuate the transition. And then he will not be exercising the usual powers of a president. Ay, sino maging commander-in-chief natin? Di wala. So he'll be exercising all the powers of the president.
The transition president will have the powers of the president. But in addition, the CONCOM put another provision. The incumbent vice president will also have to vacate her post, and the transition vice president will be elected in tandem with the transition president. The transition president and vice president will lead the shift to federalism and will hold office until 2022, when the transition ends. The election will take place around 6 months after the approval of the new constitution through a plebiscite. This would give the Commission on Elections time to prepare for the elections and the candidates to campaign. Now, who may run in the elections? Puno said anyone who would fit the qualifications. He also said that even Vice President Leni Robredo may run for the position of transition president or transition vice president. Now, the transition president and vice president, however, cannot run in the 2022 elections, the first election that will be held under the new federal constitution.
Kasi kung vice president ay presidente lang yung i-elect mo, kung na-disgrasya yung presidente, sinong magiging successor niya? So kailangan may vice president. I-elect nga tayo ng bagong presidente at vice presidente. Pero only for transition purposes. Maiksi lang yung period nila, no? Hanggang 2022 lang sila.
Because we will have a new president, all of those appointed by President Duterte will have to also vacate their posts to give way to the appointees of the new president. Joyce Ila, CNN Philippines.
An armed man was killed in a shootout with policemen at the official residence of the Archbishop of Cebu. The man, who was wearing a mask and was armed with a .38 caliber revolver and a hunting knife, barged inside the compound of the Archbishop's Palace in Cebu City shortly before noon today. A security guard assigned at the palace gate told reporters the man was looking for Cebu Archbishop Jose Palma. The compound security and staff called up the police when the man refused to leave the compound. Responding policemen started to shoot at him when he pulled out a gun. Police later identified the man as 41-year-old Jeffrey Canedo, son of a retired police official. The suspect was said to be suffering from depression. An investigation into the incident is now underway.
Ay may hinahanap nga daw. And istigan po natin kung bakit na hinahanap at bakit may dala siyang baril. And we will also check into the security ng palace. So sabi ko kay Father na maybe when everything is okay na we will discuss about the security nila dito.
The spokesperson for the Archdiocese of Cebu, Monsignor Joseph Tan, says Archbishop Palma was still in Manila for a CBCP assembly when the incident happened. A quick check now on the weather. Pag-asa says Typhoon Gardo is now outside the country. Forecasters say the typhoon is moving west-northwest at 30 kilometers per hour, heading toward the northern Taiwan area. But while the typhoon is now far from the country, Pag-asa says Gardo, along with a low-pressure area hovering over the West Philippine Sea, continues to pull up the southwest monsoon or habagat. This will bring enhanced monsoon rains in the provinces of Bataan, Zambales, Palawan, and Mindoro. Metro Manila, Calabarzon, the Bicol region, Western Visayas, the rest of Central Luzon, as well as Marinduque and Romblon should also expect occasional rains until tomorrow. These downpours could trigger flash floods or landslides. The rest of the country will have localized thunderstorms. Meanwhile, forecasters are keeping an eye on a newly formed low-pressure area east of the archipelago. Pag-asa expects up to 4 cyclones entering the country this month. Regulators ordered transport network company Grab to pay 10 million pesos in penalties for a supposed unauthorized charge. The LTFRB says it told Grab to pay up over its 2 peso per minute fee. It also told the company to reimburse passengers through rebate. For its part, Grab says it is withholding comment pending consultations with its legal team. San Miguel Corporation says it wants to finish 2018 with another strong performance. The diversified conglomerate's major shareholder, Top Frontier Investment Holdings, says the company delivered strong results in 2017. SMC says its consolidated sales revenue amounted to 826 billion pesos. This is a 21% improvement over the 2016 level of 685 billion pesos. San Miguel President Ramon Ang says he expects a number of projects to be completed this year, including a terminal at the Caticlan Airport in Aklan, the gateway to world-class Boracay Island.
Sa Caticlan, tapos na yung runway, yung apron expansion. Yung apron, kung saan mo pinaparada yung aeroplano, kulang na ngayon is the passenger terminal. I think matatapos yung bagong passenger terminal by the end of next year.
Ang says he is confident San Miguel is prepared and has measures in place to weather the impact of rising consumer prices. The bicameral conference committee is nearly done reconciling conflicting provisions of the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law, save for one. Heated discussion among members of a subcommittee defining the Bangsamoro territory has resulted in a deadlock. Our senior correspondent David Santos tells us how deliberations will move forward.
The Joint House and Senate Committee is eyeing its final report by Wednesday. Senate Majority Leader Miguel Zubiri says Tuesday's debate at one subcommittee level was so intense they decided to, quote, give it one more night to sleep on. The bone of contention, whether to include the 6 municipalities in Lanao del Norte and the 39 barangays in North Cotabato to become part of the Bangsamoro government's core territory.
Yeah, dyan medyo madugo. And I understand the positions of the district congressman because it is a loss of territory for them and medyo mabigat yan at malalim.
Despite some members like Zubiri who supported the BBL, the committee will have to make the tough choice. They extended the deliberations for another day just to resolve this particular issue. All other contentious issues, Zubiri said, have been resolved by Tuesday. Now, these are: 1, the powers of the Bangsamoro government; 2, its taxes and fiscal autonomy; 3, creation of a regional police force as part of its public order; and 4, its own justice system, including Sharia law; and 5, its set up under a parliamentary system. Now, after Wednesday's deliberation, which Zubiri said represents only about less than 10% of the proposed law, they will come up with a final consolidated version of the bill. The BBL, as a proposed law, has never gone this far in terms of the legislation process. The Aquino government, which signed a peace deal with the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF, but as we all know, its Congress junked the BBL. This is the second attempt to have the BBL enacted into law. If compared to a marathon, it is almost like nearing the finish line. Now, this is attributed largely to President Duterte, who has publicly expressed support for BBL, acknowledging historical injustices against the Moros and the need to correct it. Now, I spoke earlier to Gadzali Jaafar. He's the chairman of the body that crafted the second version of the BBL, and at the same time, he is also the MILF's vice chair for political affairs. He tells me how significant these latest developments are for them.
Moro been fighting for a government of their own for many, many years, almost 50 years. And now they are now seeing the reality of that dream. We have a government which is democratic and exclusive to everyone.
Whatever the outcome of the final bicameral committee report will be, Jaafar says they will leave it up to the Bangsamoro people to decide whether to accept it or not. It will be done through a referendum. David Santos, CNN Philippines.
A survey shows fewer Filipinos are satisfied with the performance of President Duterte. The latest Social Weather Stations poll says Mr. Duterte's net satisfaction rating is down by 11 points from a very good +56 in the first quarter of 2018 to a good +45 in the second quarter. According to SWS, this is a new personal low for the president. The poll says 65% of Filipinos are satisfied with Mr. Duterte's performance, 20% dissatisfied, and the rest undecided. The SWS carried out its survey on June 27 to 30th among 1,200 Filipino adults nationwide. The world unites in support of one soccer team. Many pay tribute to the 12 boys, their soccer coach, and the people behind the Thai cave rescue with inspiring works of art. This illustration salutes rescuers who brave the cave's dangerous waters just to get the boys out alive. Just goes to show that not all heroes wear capes. This one, which was made by 2 Bangkok-based illustrators, is titled Operation Bring Wild Boars Home. The animals in the cartoon represent the children, their coach, rescuers, Thai Navy SEALs, media, and all the people involved in the operation. Even tech entrepreneur Elon Musk, who offered help, is featured as Iron Man. And this art in honor of the soccer coach who kept his 12 players safe from harm through it all. This artist praises him as the best coach and hero of the team. Again, this story had the whole world riveted in the past few weeks. But today, finally, a happy but bittersweet ending. All 12 boys and the 25-year-old coach of the Wild Boars soccer team are alive and safe. The last 4 boys and the coach were pulled out one after another in the past few hours. They joined 8 others already recovering in a hospital in the northern Thai city of Chiang Rai. Reunions with their families will have to wait for now, as all of the boys and the coach will have to spend some time in quarantine. The successful mission was not without a loss. A former Thai Navy SEAL died in efforts to save the team. The Twitter universe is celebrating. Here are some of your comments. One tweet reads, "I'm actually so emotional about the Thai cave rescue. So many brave and selfless people involved, and I'm so glad that they're safe. The divers and the rest of the team did so well." At Blainos14 tweeted, "The Thai cave rescue mission is humanity at its absolute best. An extraordinary accomplishment by all involved." For at Akinetic Beat, "The Thai cave rescue is an insane effort by all those involved." Another tweeted, "I'm gonna need someone to make a movie about this whole Thai cave rescue. So amazing." At Yogi Bench says, "I'm crying. Hu ang babaw ko. No, hindi ito mababaw. Compelling yung story nitong Thai cave rescue incident."